When it comes to how gacha game players are introduced to the myriad of new playable characters for them to potentially pull for, whether it be through in-game events or online promotional material, it can be a complete toss-up on how long it will actually take for them to be added to the game. Sometimes it only takes a patch or two, other times we get little crumbs before getting a design much later, and for very powerful characters, it's not uncommon to get full 2D designs in online promotional material, which then becomes a slow drip feed of playable characters. Yet in spite of all that, it was still surprising that in Zenless Zone Zero's pre-release special program, which premiered a week before the game even came out, they completely revealed a group of idols that would end up not becoming playable for nearly 2 years. But now that they are here, ZZZ has gone all out with 3 back-to-back banners, in-game and out-of-game promotional material, and unique interactions we haven't seen the likes of since version 1.0. This is the long story of Zenless Zone Zero's most anticipated group of characters. I am extremely pleased to announce that Zenless Zone Zero is sponsoring this video. I've been playing the game actively since it launched because I simply adore the fast-paced action combat, the great designs and relatability of all the agents, as well as the story that has a fair balance between high-stakes plot points and laid-back character-driven moments. In version 2.7, we will be getting the third and last Angel of Delusion agent, Nanggong Yu, who is mischievous on the surface, but is deep down very caring towards her groupmates and fans. She plays as an Ether Element stun type agent, fitting perfectly on a team with Suna and Arya, or your existing Anomaly teams. You can even pick up her premium Rhapsody's Muse outfit if you prefer a darker, cooler look. Download Zenless Zone Zero today using my links below, and you can use the code ZZZRedFlame for 60 free polychromes. Thank you again to Zenless for supporting the channel. Based on what I said earlier, you'd think the pre-release livestream would be the first time we'd ever seen these characters, or in one of the game's 3 closed beta tests, but as you'll continue to see through the rest of this video, everything about the Angel's release has been quite unconventional. On May 14th, 2024, towards the end of CBT3's runtime, a rather unusual post was made on the official Zenless Zone Zero Bilibili account. It reads, "Yesterday, we observed numerous insider leaks about ZZZ on various social media platforms. Upon investigation, we confirmed that the other party used illegal means to obtain our development data, including previously unreleased character design concept drafts. We are very sorry about this. Therefore, we made a decision that goes against the past. Instead of covering it up, we'd rather be open about it." Attached to this post is the key art that would be later shown in the livestream, as well as the actual concept arts for all 3 of the members, including various poses, expressions, and even their weapon designs. Continuing the post, they said, "The initial idea of creating an idol faction stemmed from the fact that many members of the production team admire idol culture and believe that a group of positive and optimistic idols conveying love and dreams through their hard work is something that can empower people. Therefore, we quickly reached an agreement and decided to launch a brand new project. This dream team includes a lead singer who wants to ignite everyone's passion with their singing, a natural focused stage entertainer, and a highly talented and emotionally sensitive creator. We are currently working diligently on this new team project." Hoyo has very rarely released concept art for other games, but usually only in one-off and difficult to find media like physical art books, so they typically prefer to keep stuff like this internal. That's why I just think it was cool how they turned around a bad situation of their files getting leaked and turned it into something positive by showing off the work they were proud of. So of course, after all this, the community was clamoring for more of these characters, and we actually got a tiny little tease back in 1.3 during the virtual Battlefield Mayhem event, where in the event graphic you can spot a poster featuring a silhouette of Arya's robot form with the word star on it. In the event, the Bang Boo Snap, who we later find out Asher Yao was talking through, tells us that an intelligent construct got their consciousness scrambled after trying out a new TOPS VR project, and it's up to us to save them. We log into their account, which is named Arya Does Not Dream Nightmares, meaning this was the first time Arya's name was officially revealed to us. Unfortunately, after that, we wouldn't get anything else for the rest of Season 1, at least in game, but on April 7th of 2025, we got a dev talk video which would preview some key elements of Season 2, including the announcement that the now named Angels of Delusion would finally be making their appearances. In 2.1, we get our first in-game look at one of their 3D models, with Suna showing up in the Tales of Midsummer Dreams event, fangirling over Astra's concert performance. And by this point, we could see that her design was basically unchanged from the original concept art that we saw a few years back, so I guess they just knew the designs were perfect as they were. A little bit later in 2.3, the Angels of Delusion Twitter account, which had previously only retweeted Astra, started becoming active with its own posts. It kicked off with a banger, referencing the viral cat shadow trend, and continued with more various quotes, 3D renders, and art posts. They even revealed the fandom name as Delulus, which nowadays is mostly just slang for the word delusional, but dates back to internet culture from over a decade ago, specifically relating to idol fans. And from there, they just kept it rolling with a trailer feature in the Game Awards, multiple music videos, livestream content, the usual animated agent teasers, and the eventual release of Suna and Arya in version 2.6. It's pretty incredible to think that they had actually decided on doing all of this way back in the leak response post, where they said, "After finalizing the designs for the 3 idols, we plan to introduce them to everyone by creating real virtual idols. The idols will personally participate in the Zenless Zone Zero livestream, and we will also launch more related projects around them, such as character songs." So if you were wondering why it's taken so long for the Angels to become playable despite their designs being close to finalized all the way back then, it's very likely because they wanted to coordinate all of this media together to culminate in what succeeded in being a very memorable release campaign. Beyond the long hype cycle and awesome musical tracks, the introduction of these agents has resonated quite a lot with longtime Zenless Zone Zero players because they really harken back to some of the most beloved aspects of Season 1's story and presentation. They expanded the world in small but meaningful ways, with 404 Livehouse becoming enterable, and even having rotating performances by the Angels of Delusion, as well as other groups composed of NPCs. The story quest featuring the Angels was relatively low stakes, especially compared to all the crazy stuff that's been going on in Y-Phase since the start of Season 2, and has a huge focus on both the individual personalities of the Angels and their group dynamics. Meanwhile, our protagonist takes a step back to really let them shine. And this just shows that the Zenless devs have a good understanding that although you do need to up the stakes sometimes to make for exciting moments, the low stakes conflicts can be just as intriguing as well. The Angels themselves are also indicative of how well the devs capitalize on the appeal of their agents without going overboard. The 3 had their combat designed to all work synergistically, which isn't surprising, but they went the extra mile to combine their attack animations, which is simply just cute. We saw them experiment with team-up attacks in 1.0 with Coletta and Ben, but we haven't gotten anything else until now. They also sync up their dance idol animations, all have optional premium outfits, and they even have an exclusive background for collecting all 3, which is thankfully not time limited in case you didn't manage to pull for all of them. And that's really understandable considering they all had their banners in succession, while also coming off the back of Void Hunter Yes Junguang's debut in 2.5. The devs have shown repeatedly that they respect the players by not resorting to excessive FOMO tactics, which in turn makes me respect them a lot as well. Zenless Zone Zero has continued to be one of my favorite gacha games, and the way they've handled the long-awaited Angels of Delusion only solidifies that fact. I hope you found this video to be interesting or insightful. Thank you to Zenless Zone Zero for sponsoring this video, and thank you for watching.